It happens more than 300 times each day in Montgomery County. Firefighters answering calls for all types of emergencies. And what you might not know is that here in Montgomery County, out of approximately 2,600 firefighters, 1,500 are volunteers.
Here in a major metropolitan area, it's a little bit more unique to have what we have, which is known as a combination system. So we're both career and volunteer professionals, and they work side by side. And in a major metropolitan area of over 1 million people, where we run over 120,000 calls a year, it's unusual to see this level of volunteer participation.
It's a system that was first established here in 1922. The Montgomery County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Service is made up of 19 separate independent fire and rescue corporations. And just like career firefighters, the volunteers are expected to go through a rigorous training process that can take more than a year to complete. A major commitment, to say the least, but in the end, volunteers come out of training with the same level of instruction as a career firefighter.
So we tell them that up front. You're not coming in to do 4 hours. This is a profession that luckily still does not scare most of our people away because they're here committed to do the job.
A lot of people think of volunteers and it's somebody who brings cookies, and does nice things. The volunteers in the fire department do exactly what the professionals in the fire department do, and we rely on them to provide this aspect of public safety.
And you certainly don't want to be out there on the streets when people are having their worst day and you saying, I didn't pay attention, or I never was taught that. That won't happen in Montgomery County.
Most of the volunteers have full-time jobs, and one of those volunteers is Victor Graves. A lawyer by day, he spends 16 hours per week volunteering at Station 3 in Rockville, one of the county's busiest firehouses, averaging more than 14,000 calls per year. He'll tell you he loves the action.
It's a very busy station, and the volunteers here engage in every activity in the station. We have folks who are in ambulances, people who are operators of the larger apparatus, EMTs, paramedics, rescue technicians, everyone here. Every position here is staffed by volunteers, or capable of being staffed by volunteers.
We saw firsthand the pace of work at Station 3. The radio chattered nonstop.
Ambulance 708 respond on 7 Bravo, Fox area 814.
And Victor had to leave our interview to answer a call for a person in distress.
Now that's the call for the ambulance, which means that I have to go on a call.
Another worthy statistic of the county volunteer force is that it is made up of close to 50% women and minorities, a number that Bernard says continues to increase. And many of the folks who choose to become volunteers are also pursuing careers where their training comes in handy. Freshta Hind is an EMT who is currently in nursing school. She says the knowledge she's gained as a volunteer has put her ahead of the game.
In fact, I had a test today. We had to assess a patient in under a few minutes, so there was time constraint, and I was able to just knock it out. And I didn't tell them that I'm an EMT yet, so I just wanted to see what their reaction were, and I did really well. And I definitely have to thank the experience I got here.
There are also volunteers who serve as career firefighters. Chris Hind is the captain at Station 3. He works as a DC firefighter full-time, and on his days off, he's in Rockville helping the organization. Volunteering is a family right for him. His grandfather served as past president of Station 3, and his father once served as chief there. He sees his service as a responsibility.
Still live here in the community, so it's important for me to continue with the organization. My grandfather and my father were here, so I don't intend to walk away anytime soon. Probably, be here for the rest of my life with Rockville.
And with Freshta Hind. The two met while spending long hours volunteering together at Station 3.
Throughout her time here, she was volunteering. She was assigned to my shift, and we just kind of hit it off, and the rest is history from there.
It was clear after spending the evening at the Rockville station, there is a special bond between the firefighters, and each and every one of them is proud of the work they are doing. Victor Graves said there are few opportunities left where a person is called to rise to the occasion, and being a volunteer firefighter is one of them.
We make a difference here. It might be as simple as going to some elderly person's home in the middle of the night and assisting them back in bed so they can age in place a little while longer and stay with their spouse. There was one instance I recall where we had a newly born baby, and I took that infant, the newborn, and turned around to the 17-year-old probationary member with me and said, "Here, hold the baby. We're going to cut the umbilical cord and let's do the APGAR score." And he rose to the occasion, did wonderfully.
It's estimated the volunteers save county taxpayers close to $24 million per year. So it's fair to say it's a service Montgomery County can't afford to lose. There is no doubt this combination system is unique to say the least, but Bernard says it's a critical working partnership.
In Montgomery County, we could not do it without the volunteers, not just for the economics, but because most volunteers tend to live in the community. So you had that community aspect where growing up, the firehouse was the place to be. That's the social hub of activity in a small community. And while Rockville, Kensington, Bethesda, they're not the small communities they once were, the firehouse is still a very important role in the community. And the career volunteer mesh is the blood, is the lifeline that keeps that together.